Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Gary, Party Wagon Podcast. We have Amazing Friends, episode number 2. I've got Jay here today from the community, Instagram. He ain't a Facebooker, but he's in the community. But we're trying to convert him into the wonderful world of Facebook with the Party Wagon, just to come hang out with us. So, what's going on, Jay? How you doing, man?
What up, Gary? Pleasure, my friend. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to have you. We've been talking for like the past 40 minutes while we set stuff up, and we should have recorded the whole goddamn thing because it would have been the conversation. So we're going to probably touch on a couple of points that we've already talked about here. But we've got a fun, small agenda here today. I do want to go over a couple of things. First, I like to highlight Amazing Friends, which is Jay. He's got a little bit, looks like of a newer Instagram account for some of your photography.
Honestly, I started this earlier this year. Wife and I bought a house. I was able to get like some space. I've been collecting for a while, but I never, took them out the box. I got some dioramas from my man Nate, TMNT. Short plug, Nate, you're amazing. Got some dios from him, and I've been able to just teleport back into my childhood. This has been amazing. So that is the only account that I have for it's TMNT underscore 1987.
Underscore at the end of that, though. Don't forget. So it's TMNT
right.
underscore 1987 underscore.
Yes.
I'll put it down below in our description once we get that going. If you are one of our video guys, your visual listeners, scrolling through some of his stuff right now. So one of the things that I recently started doing, because I found it a lot easier, is doing dioramas out of foam. And I see that you have done a lot of turtle lair things. Is that made out of foam? Did you sculpt all that yourself, or did you buy those?
Absolutely not, man. Again, Nate TMNT. I don't know if you follow him. He does amazing work. Honestly, is very close to that NECA diorama stuff. All three are connected. So we have Donnie's lab, got the living room, and we got the kitchen. I also have the dojo like off to the right, but that one's not connected. It's very eerily similar to the NECA designs. Nate's appear to be a little larger than the NECA ones, which I really, really like. But some of the details are like the TV, for example. You can change the inserts, really cool. But he did amazing work, and I figured there has to be like an amazing way to display all the figures, right? And this is the best possible way. And it seemed like if I just kind of left them there, I'd forget about them, because you need a chance to use up some of these, some of these amazing heads, amazing poses and articulation. And I figured an IG like account would be the best way to go, honestly. So
yeah, I mean, you can always buy 4 sets of the Turtles in Disguise like I did, and have all the different displays. Now, I've actually, funny enough, with those Turtles in Disguise, I feel the same way. Like, you get all the little different expressions, and a lot of people like to have like the one figure, and I'll always give them bullshit because it's just like they straight leg stand them up. They don't pose them. They don't bend knees. They don't give them action. They just do straight leg, like they're just like might as well just T-pose the bastards at that point. And I love all the different faces. And like on my shelf personally, I've got the Turtles in Disguise like with the coats on. And then I've got one other set, which is the matte set. I ended up customizing one of the sets because I had fun with it. And then I ended up sending another one to Sean, who was on last week's podcast. Oh, no, he wasn't, because we recorded it and we couldn't release it. So Sean was on with a podcast we didn't release. Sean Schaefer, who's in our Party Wagon group, he's one of our admins. He got back into collecting NECA, so I sent him a set. So my current dilemma, right, is that I have these tiny tantrum heads, the tiny tantrum toys heads, which are the ones without the masks. I actually have one here. This is something I haven't really shown anybody yet, but it's just like a concept idea, and this is the 3D designed and printed Dark Turtle sculpt head that he has. So like I've been putting them on my turtles without the masks on, and now I'm like, shit, now I gotta buy more to put the heads back on, because I love having them without the masks. They just look good. So
see, those are the wind down turtles. That's the before bed turtles. You got to put the weapons away. Oh, I got to show you this weapon rack, Gary. I got to show you this weapon rack.
Oh, speaking of, I'll show you. I got a weapon rack to show you.
Check it out.
See, that's cool as shit. That's way better than what I was going to show.
All right, then I'm glad I'm showing it.
God, man. So let me tell you about
I gotta
this one.
send you a link for this. TMNT Nate again. A lot of crates stuff too, like all these little accessories he's built. But this weapon rack, I actually asked him. I'm like, man, I have to build me something that I can lay the weapons down, and this is what he came up with. It's fantastic. I'll send you the link for this.
Yeah, so mine's not as cool. So this was a concept I made. I'm very like vanilla when it comes to 3D modeling. I woke up one morning and we had a comment in the party wagon that just said, "Man, it'd be really cool if we had like a weapons rack for the foot soldiers, just in general. Like we have like the one that came with like the 2-pack of the movie ones. So I came up
Yeah.
with this really basic design where it's got the feet here and without getting a glare. So my 3D printer was screwed up. This is actually why this concept's not done. It's got a lot of bubbling in it. So what I did was I put little it's got little nubs on it right here. They were not big enough at all, but I put the foot logo on it. I designed it based off of my shredder chair for my techno drone. The new one's going to be bigger. This is actually too small. It's going to have feet in the front and in the back because when you put stuff on, it's going to tip forward. But this is a concept I did literally I think like in September maybe. Could have even been over the summer. I don't remember, but hopefully I'll have that file up once I finish it up for free in the party wagon, where I put all of my creations up for free if you want to 3D print shit, which is cool as hell. But yeah, we'll make sure we get Nate plugged in here. Make sure after our episode you send that over to me so I can get it in here. Go check out his stuff. I might even follow him.
Maybe.
I only
Maybe.
know I know one Nate in the community, and his last name is Saucedo. Nathan Saucedo. So if Nathan, if you watch this, you're like the one Nathan I know in the community. So he's awesome. Cool. So I got a good look at his dioramas before we started. You're seeing them right now on screen. You can see the size of the scale, the detail, and yeah, they're pretty close to what NECA's putting out. Mine doesn't really hold a stick to this. Mine's 3D printed, but I don't have like the cool wall designs and such. I will bring up this. Let me talk to you about this one. So I got recognized for my techno drone that I modeled based off of the New York Toy Fair model that NECA had shown right before the pandemic. I think it's awesome. I love mine. And I also noticed you're one of the few people in the community that's got a foam one created.
Yes, that one is purely foam. I forgot. I think his name is something like 1979 custom, something like that. Also, quick thing, Nathan Salcedo, correct. I'm confirming that name. Yep. See?
I know my Nates.
Yep. Uh, I forgot the guy's name. It's really nice. I think I also got the shredder chair from him, which is eerily similar to the one that you have. Which is why I recognize that weapons rack. Yeah, totally foam. I haven't done a lot with it lately. I think so. The other thing I'm trying to do right now on the channel is just to kind of. My whole thing is again 1987 TMNT, like that's bread and butter, right? I want
Right.
to get a little better with lighting. That's my thing. And these foam, these foam ones, you can kind of detach the walls and stuff and arrange the lighting on there.
Right.
So, uh, but yeah, the Technodrome is pretty badass. You can do the inserts for the big screen, so you can kind of see. And he gave me like a couple, kind of April doing her report, some sewer stuff, Dimension X stuff, but really, really cool. Gary, how big is yours compared to kind of everything else? Is it like a large space or?
My techno drone or my sewer layer?
Yeah, I'm saying the Technodrome one. Sorry.
Oh, it's like mine's big, but like so yours is a square, right? Yours is like a
Yes.
box. Mine was designed at an angle, so it opens
Uh,
up. I don't want to screw my camera up too much, but if I can kind of don't look at my mess of shirts that I just thrown over the side there, you can kind of see right there that it does open up, right? It's
yeah.
not just a normal flat square design, and it comes in pieces in the 3D file for people that want to print it. So it's got pretty good like pieces on it. Now you mentioned lighting, right? You said you want to get better at lighting. Here's my pro tip. I have two pro tips, right? One of them, let's fix this damn camera. Holy hell. Punch in is what I tell everybody, right? So many people, and this is one of my problems. When I started off, I was like, oh, let's get these cool, awesome, crazy dynamic scenes, and I got this there, and I got all these toys. I spend like an hour or two setting the thing up. And then you take the photo, and it's like, as you're trying to get all that data, all those things in the photo, and you're like, it kind of sucks. If you look at everybody else's stuff, their stuff is always focused. I call it the punch in. Move in and focus on something. Everything else will kind of design and really fill the background, right? You'll see little things here and there, but there's one person that I think does it really well, and it's Epic Disaster. It's like
Oh my
EPYKK. It's Brandon,
God.
and
Incredible, man.
yeah, he does the non punch-in shots very well, but his are very creative. His are very basic, but they're good. Every time I've spent a lot of time on a dynamic photo, no one ever cares about it. Like I spend a lot of time doing stuff, but if you look at my Instagram, if you look at ones that are just like one figure maybe doing something or just in a pose, just kind of like a highlight, almost like a promo shot, those are the ones that people care about the most, it seems, when it comes to like trying to build that clout of your photos. So punch in. I'm always going to tell people punch in. Don't try to get the full scene in there, and that will definitely help you with just getting a better shot. Now with lighting, I'm looking at a lot of your photos here, and a lot of your photos are using what it looks like maybe either natural lighting or maybe some kind of like a little bit of a filter on some of them to kind of set the tone, which I do very occasionally use filter. I use sharpening filters on some of mine because it really brings out the line work on my turtles. And I'm looking at one right now where you've got Zach and then Joe Eyeball with some glowing pumpkin heads, which are are those a Trick or Treat pumpkin heads, the Sam ones?
So I don't know. I got this off Etsy. I wanted to do
Oh,
like a little Halloween thing, right? And honestly, I was surprised at how that turned out. So I had some like blue light. I don't know if you look at it, look like real close, and it was from far away. So the background is blue. The pumpkin heads, like it kind of gave off their own light, and I
yeah.
was just kind of like, oh my god, how the heck did I do this?
Dude,
So
I've tried it. I honestly tried it with low light, and I have a Note 20 Ultra on my phone, right? That's what I use for my photos. Because I have like a real camera. My fiance is a photographer, and we have like a Sony something. It was like an $1,800 camera, and then we had to buy all the lenses for it, right? And I hate sitting down and taking photos with that because it's just so much work. Because then you gotta like plug it into your computer, you gotta pull stuff off, and I bring it in the Photoshop, and then I gotta edit it. And like I just like doing it on my phone. And the low light sensor always screws up my dark shots because it always tries to make them like look like a daytime. And
yep.
I just actually pre-ordered the S23 Ultra yesterday, so I'll be getting that at the middle of the month, and that has like the best low light sensor ever. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight with this goddamn thing this whole time. Like I already
Like,
know it's gonna be a
yeah.
nightmare. Oh man. But your lighting, where I was kind of driving that one too. There's one trick, and I know that Casper CDG, which is Justin Garbert, he's been getting in the photography. If you look at his Instagram, that dude is just relentless with putting up photos now. It's kind of his new thing. You can go on Amazon and get like these little pucks, like little square pucks, and they've got their LED lights. You change the color of them. I don't use them. Justin does. I'll just grab it. We're probably gonna make some noise here. Um, let's see, because there's like wires everywhere. Let's pull this little bastard in. Um, there it is. There's the noise. We're dropping shit. So I use these. I use these ones. Yeah, like those. I use these little guys, and you can take the bottom off if you need to, which they unscrew. That's a long screw. Oh, it's actually screwed in like with an actual screw. Anyway, and you can put them on the side there if you got to put them sideways. But I use these. I usually have 3 to 4 of them in my display if I'm taking a photo. If you look at my latest Baxter Stockman photo that I did with the Icon 3D Labs Pizza Monster, I've got 2 on the side, 1 on the bottom, and then I've got an LED clear, just daytime light LED at the top that I diffused a little bit. And that was it. Like I don't throw those in the Photoshop or anything to edit them. I just kind of I take them on my phone. I change like the temperature a little bit, maybe make it a little darker, make it a little lighter, whatever the case may be, and then I just post it. So you can get really good photos with your phones nowadays. It's absolutely insane. I think Epic Disaster does his on his phone as well.
Unbelievable, man. Because I was just talking to like a few of the creators reached out, and Storybook Heroes, I believe, is one. Warrior Evans does amazing work, but yeah, Epic Disaster, same thing. Um, they recommended these guys, and I just used these for that for my latest post that I did a little Batman the Animated Series meets the 87 Turtles, and
Right.
it just came out fantastic. I've never really used anything like this before. I think I just have like a regular hue light that I just, shine some light on. But thanks, man. I'll definitely take those tips. I really like those stands on those. You're going to have to send me a link after we're done.
Of course. So yeah, they're cool. Like the ones that I use are just like Monster and whatever. You can get them at Walmart, $15 for two of them or something. They plug in via USB. I've always got little portable batteries that I use. I just plug them in. Change the hardest part about using them is that when you want to change the colors of them individually, you have to like move it over here, and, like zap it, and like make sure the other one's not looking at it, because then it'll change that color. And it's just like I fight with the colors most of the time. Sometimes I just put it on strobe or like where it cycles through the colors, and everything cycles at a different color. And I'll just like
You got
I take a bunch of photos until I get the right one. Like sometimes that's just what you got to do. I did
yeah,
that. I did that with my recent my Wasteland Michelangelo photo I posted. I did the TMNT collab with that one. Um,
and you knocked it out of the park with that damn collect. The
yeah.
Wasteland Turtles are incredible. Everyone, I know you guys follow Gary and you've seen the post, but I'm plugging you on your own freaking platform. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that stuff again.
Get,
Are you gonna have those for like? Are you gonna take commissions? What's going on? Or are
so
you just doing that for the love for yourself?
so guess how much that one cost? That was a commission. Guess how much that cost? I did that for
Wow.
free. Literally did that for free. So there's a guy. His name is Nick Cranford. He's in our group, also an admin. He just started an Instagram, Turtle X 2000. He's trying to get into it. I'm gonna take the credit for inspiring him into do customs, because that's kind of like I like customs, and I've been inspired. I like inspiring people to do customs because it's been like my thing for a long time. I started on Amiibo, then I went to Funko Pops, and now I'm on. Then I moved to Turtles, and that's kind of been my thing. And he likes that I just kind of create things. He sent me a set of the four turtles, and he just says, "Can you just like do something with them? Like I don't care, just make it something cool." Because that's what happens. Is I just kind of like have an idea. A lot of times the stuff sits on my desk. Like my desk is full. Like right now, I've got that Dark Turtle. I've got the Fugitoid, that I haven't even taken photos with yet. That's just like my green and
Wow,
rusted
bro.
Fugitoid. Um, that started off as a black and white Fugitoid that I fucked up like 3 times, and then I just said, screw it, I'm doing something different. I've got this is a fun one. This is a fun one. I've shown this off. This one was supposed to go to Judith Hogue, but Tom sent her shoes before I can get it to him, so I gotta send this to her separately. But this was
Wow.
one of my Judith Hogues I did repaint of. I think it was like a Sarah Connor. I just repainted and put her head on it, and really basic. Judith actually has. There's one that I posted back in like August. Yeah, August, and it was like a Casey Jones one. I made like a yellow Casey Jones mask and put it on her, and this kind of made her look badass. I gave that to her in person. First time I was ever starstruck, because like it was like at a con, but it was like in a back room, because we were hanging out with Kevin Eastman, and she had come up, and she started talking to us, and I was like, oh my god, I got this for you. Like it was the weirdest shit. Um, it was so like I was fine talking. Like, I'm always fine talking to Kevin. I'm fine talking to Ben Bishop. Tom Waltz was there. Steve Levine's a good friend of ours. Like it's easy to talk to them, but like as soon as Judith walked up, I was like, this is weird. I did like it was so strange. Um,
Tell me,
so it's cool as
have
hell.
you ever met the actor who played Casey and the second April O'Neil?
So that's Paige Turco. I've not met her, and then Elias is not like really big into stuff like that, so I've never been able to meet him, unfortunately. But Judith is very good friends with him, so maybe one day. I'm hoping. We'll see.
Maybe one day is right.
Maybe
Man,
one day.
your custom looks like some kind of a alternate Last Ronin meets the 1990 Turtle. Although she has all her limbs,
Yeah,
she has all her limbs.
it's just really awesome. I kept the shotgun in her hand, but it's just like it's just fun. And I know it's kind of blurry on the stream, but like it's fun, man. It was a fun little easy to do custom. I actually did this in between doing my shredders when I was doing the movie shredders and turning them into the cartoon style with the coloration on them, which people fucking loved. I got that idea from my buddy Jeff Denton, who's CNC photography and I think CNC shredder. He did one, and I was like, "Hey man, can I do some of these?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I just did one for fun, and then everybody wanted to buy them. So I only sold 2 of them. I don't want to impede on what he does because he sells a ton of super shredders. They're sick. Um, I don't want to like impede on him. And the algorithm right now is fucking him hard. The algorithm does not like him whatsoever. He's like, "Do you see my shit?" I'm like, "No, I don't see anything. No one's liking any of his stuff."
Oh,
So,
that sucks. So, do you think that's just? Is there a freaking way to like hack that freaking algorithm? Do we need to like save his post to like increase his like interactivity or something? Yeah, yeah. For like some of my photos, I'm like, what the hell's going on today? Like,
yeah,
there's like no activity on it, like compared to like some random day, and
there's
the actual like stats back it up.
yeah,
You
there's some
know.
there's some strategies that I do. And like I've grown exponentially over the past like 2 years. When I say exponentially, I went from having like 700 followers to having uh 3,500 followers, which is pretty big. I mean, it's a pretty big feat. Um, so what I've learned for the algorithm for me is that movie turtles don't go anywhere. So whenever I post anything for movie turtles, no one likes them, no one comments, no one bumps them up. So if you look at my Instagram, I don't do a lot of movie turtles anymore. I want to do so many of like the Soto turtles did really well when I just bought them, set them up, and then took a photo. I didn't do anything special because no one had them. So like people were trying to find photos, but yeah, movie turtles don't do well. So I always try to stick to cartoon. When I do cartoon, I try to make sure I incorporate the turtles. I've got every turtle on this damn shelf, but like you don't not
What?
every turtle, every figure.
You know what? I think you're right because anything I post that doesn't have turtles, it just doesn't do as well.
Right.
Even though it's,
Like there
I'll
is
definitely agree.
the beautiful wall of everything, and like there's everything is in there and plus doubles. But yeah, dude, turtles are what gets you the follows, man. I just did that awesome, in my opinion, one of my favorite photos, that Icon 3D Labs one with Baxter Stockman, Human Baxter. No one like cared that much about it. I was like, that's a bummer. Like that's a great photo. But yeah,
Great
turtles.
photo.
Throw
Yeah,
turtles in there, man.
great photo.
And then the secret sauce, the secret trick. Are you ready for
Give
this one?
it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
You hit all those hashtags, and then right in the middle of those hashtags, hashtag Fortnite or hashtag big boobs. Because that's going to screw the algorithm up, and you're going to have these like weird like dudes on Instagram like looking through, they're scrolling, they're like looking at all these girls, and then all of a sudden, boom, Raphael's there. And he's like, I like turtles. I like tits. Let's do it. And like now you got a new follower because you got turtles and tits. Like it's like now you're popping up on their algorithm. So, um, that's just
See, okay, but here's the thing: if I was a guy looking for titties on Instagram, and if I saw a turtle, I might be pissed off. But then again, I would notice it. I
yeah.
would notice
I mean,
it.
you'll see it.
You know,
You might
when,
get a like, but if
yeah,
you ever look at some of my comments, you'll see there's always this says promoted on OP streamer. There's these bots that always try to do promotions, and that's because I do hashtag Fortnite on every one of my posts, because it just kind of gets thrown into that Fortnite thing. Uh,
yeah, you're a veteran. I'm copying these strategies from henceforth.
Yo,
I
man,
will give you the
it
growth
works,
measures.
dude. It works, man. Let me tell you about that. It is insane. Um,
Turtles and tits. TNT.
yeah, let's say turtles and tits, man. That's my go-to.
Uh,
Um,
I'll be looking for the T-shirt on your website
dude,
for sale.
I should make one. I have my T Public web store. I make ridiculous ass shirts. I can do turtles and tits.
Turtles and titties. There you go.
Man,
That is the TNT.
so this is
Uh,
for people that don't know. This is Jay and I's like first time meeting. Like we've had DMs. This is what his face looks like to me for the first time. Uh, so I know you wanted to ask me questions, like find out stuff about me, and there's things people might not know because you're not in the party wagon. You're not on Facebook. You don't see me jumping on, talking about things all the time. So did you have questions? Did you have anything you wanted to learn?
honestly, yeah, man. So how did your whole turtle thing like? I'll do a quick thing about me, right? So I'm an immigrant child. Like we came here from the war in Bosnia. So I moved here in '93. But while we lived in Bosnia, my dad owned a video store, and that is how I got the access. So that season one, I've watched that like to death. So I'm a '80s kid. So what about you, man? Is there any other story other than just falling in love? Yeah, I'll let you go.
I've got a
So how
I've
did you fall
I've
in
got a
love?
I've got a heartfelt story, which is pretty awesome.
Do it.
So
Let's do it.
I was born in '87, '87 baby, and literally all I remember, like all I know, is Nintendo and Ninja Turtles. Because when I was born, my grandmother had bought my mother an NES, gave it to her, said when he's old enough, he has an NES. Because that in the '80s, no one knew video games were gonna blow up, so it was just like a thing they bought as a toy. So Turtles, the other thing I remember just growing up. It's one of the few things I remember like solidly. Solidly, is that a word? Anyway,
Uh,
my
it's a word.
one of the sad things was my parents had given me up when I was 2, and my grandparents adopted me. So I was raised by my grandparents. My grandparents were wealthy, or well off, we could say, and I was a very lucky only child. So I got everything I wanted. I got all the turtles. I got everything I ever wanted. It was pretty awesome. And when I turned 13 or 14, my grandmother had said, "You're going to grow out of turtles. We're getting rid of all of your toys." I came home from school. They were all in a garbage bag. They were going to donate them to the Salvation Army, she had said. And the reason they done that was because I was really heavy into skateboarding. And I kind of still am, but I'm old. And I used to take the toys, put them on a skateboard, slam it, and launch them into the air and watch them explode. So I broke a lot of Turtles toys in my reckless like teenage years. So they were like, "You're growing out of these." So my grandmother had said, "You're gonna grow out of these one day. We're getting rid of them. You're gonna be too old for them." And for some reason, like my still developing brain was like that, like stuck with me. And I was a grandma's boy, straight up. Like you hear all the funny things about being a grandma's boy, like that's me. That was me, 100%. April would always say, I walk out of the bathroom and she'd be like, "Do you gonna call your grandma, let her know you took a piss?" I was like, "Come on, leave me alone. Like, what the hell?" Um, so I've always really been into turtles. It's always been like a passion of mine. Then, well, right before the pandemic really happened, my grandmother had passed away of cancer. It was like the fifth or sixth time she had gotten cancer. It was she'd gotten lung cancer that went to her bones, and it was like a whole thing, and it was shit. So like the last text message with my grandmother was in January. She passed away in March. In January, GameStop released the movie Turtles. Remember the single four Turtles that only GameStop?
That's where I got mine from.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I took a picture of Raphael, sent it to her, and she says, "Oh my!" She goes, "She said like he's so beautiful." I have a screenshot of it. Last text message ever with my grandmother before she got sick. Right.
Wow.
So that's what spawned me like getting into photography, because like I always wanted to do really cool photos, and like she was always supportive of my stupid endeavors. But like so like I keep that. So it's kind of like for me like a sign. That's like a good sign for it. And um, then like right before the pandemic hit, I was just sitting here with a Raphael Toon Turtle, and I was trying to find the other Toon Turtles, the 2 packs, the series ones, and it, like I had that itch to hunt. You know what I mean? Like you feel good when you find something, and that just kind of like the hunt has just kind of turned into another part of the passion. So like my grandmother doing that to me, and then having fun with it, and then like meeting all these cool people, finding out how big the community is, and at the end of the day. It's gonna sound kind of conceited, but like I feel like me and a lot of other people in the community, we all play a part in making sure that Turtles doesn't die, so that we can continue to enjoy this shit. I'm only 35, but like I consider myself an old man, but you know I want to do this for another 30 years. You know that's the legacy I have of life is just like being a Turtles guy. Like that's cool, man. Like I just want to make sure that it continues. It just makes me happy. You know, remembering my childhood, the '90s, growing up. So that's what really keeps me going and collecting and taking photos.
Let me feed your ego. I will agree with you that you and our community. I'm again. I told you you've sold me on the party wag. I'll be in there today. I'll be in there today. Um, and from what I noticed, Raphael seems like the turtle, right? Just from your story.
Yeah, Raphael's number one. Look at this. I don't know if it's gonna come up, but oh, it's gonna be really bleeding out right there.
Oh my
I
god!
got Raphael tattooed on me like this. Oh 08. This bitch is old. I gotta get this thing touched up.
Wow!
But
Wow!
Yeah, I gotta get this bastard. Raphael's always been my favorite. Like, I look like this cool, nice, level-headed guy, which I am. I'm really just a nice guy. I'm just super respectful. My grandparents raised me well, and I'm just eternally grateful on how I was raised. To be completely honest, but my mother is kind of a hothead. You know what I mean? Like my mom's a vengeful person, right? Like she is. I love my mom, but like she is the person that's like sends people after other people if she gets into like a small argument with it. I'm not even joking. Like,
Wow.
all right, here's a fun story. My mom's never gonna watch this, right? So my father's a fucking dirty hippie. I love like my dad was like a homeless guy, grew up on the streets, foster kid. My last name's not even like my birth last name. I'm Scandinavian. I'm not even goddamn like whatever they are. My last name's Dolan, which is Irish. I'm not Irish. I'm at all. But my father knew my mom was cheating on him. She was coming home from work one day, walking home, and the neighbor said, "Hey, Jim," my father's name is Jim, "don't go. There's people there." There were people my mother had gotten, her people that she knew, to beat my dad up. Because when you're cheating on somebody, you accuse the other person of it, and like that's the whole thing. Like that was the thing. Like there was people waiting to beat the shit out of my dad. So I got that blood in me. I'm kind of a hothead, so like I kind of blow up on things. If I'm doing anything around the house, I'm gonna be an asshole. So like Raphael's always just kind of been my guy. Like he's a hothead, but he's also reasonable at times, and that's just kind of like I feel like that's just how I've been growing up.
Well, for me, growing up, so I love the toon Raph. I love the sarcastic Raph, right? And then when I saw the movie as a kid, I'm like, man, why is he always kind of like the odd guy out? So growing up, Raph was definitely my favorite. As I've gotten older, my favorite turtle is the most unappreciated turtle that does the most for the team, and that is
Donatello?
Donnie. That is Donnie, man. That is Don. I don't know where we would be without Donnie. So a funny little story. So growing up, I told you I was an immigrant kid. When we moved here, my parents didn't have money to spend on turtles and stuff. Um, my cousin and I, he had Leo, I had Raph, and we didn't have the turtle van, so we made the turtle van out of a shoebox.
Dude,
So we
dude, even
cut,
us rich kids did that. Don't worry about it. We did that shit too.
we drew the wheels, on the side of the shoebox. We pushed it along, went great, and that is one like thing that I'm super super duper proud of. Man, you guys made the party wagon while having the party wagon.
Dude,
You really?
I was a creative kid. I made tons of shit. I remember I used to make full sets, full dioramas out of cardboard and paper for the Mini Mutants and shit. Even though I had them, like that's just what I did. And then when I was late '90s, I was in the wrestling. I was always doing tons of wrestling like things. Like I was building like wrestling rings out of bullshit. Even though I had a wrestling ring, I was still doing like cardboard ones and making rope and putting it in. It was just weird stuff, man. Like I did that shit too. It was just being a
Uh,
creative kid, I guess.
Tell me, are you Team Razor or Team HBK? Or Team Bret Hart, I should say.
I mean, I don't know. I'm more of an HBK guy because I was a DX guy growing up.
Same, same.
New Age Outlaws, man. New Age Outlaws are my jam. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Yeah, I got out of wrestling early, right before the John Cena thing happened. Like right before John Cena like I didn't do anything. I want to say like what was it 2002, 2003 maybe. I was done. Cuz I was in high school at that point, and wrestling for me
Yep.
was like middle school, junior high stuff.
Yeah, I think I was there for the golden age, the Attitude Era, and yeah, I got out. I think at the same time as you, just as Cena
Yeah,
was.
my attitude is where I was at, and then I was out. But fun small segue. I wanted to do. I was gonna try to do this. I was gonna try to squeeze a segue in while we were talking about tattoos when I brought my tattoo up. But I showed this off earlier. This was my Nintendo. Was my Ludwig. Tom Bullman did that, right?
Wow.
And I
Wait, wait,
definitely.
wait. Actually, go for it. Go for it.
I was
I'll
like,
think of my quote.
so Tom. That was the first tattoo Tom ever did on me, and that's how I met him. I won it in a free contest. I was like an Instagram contest. It was like comment, and you might be able to win something. And I knew Tom before he was famous, before he was on TV, and yeah, Tom's going through some hard times right now. But it's some fun stuff. Do you have anything from Bull Airs? Have you copped anything?
No. So, like I said, just listening to your pod, the last like couple of weeks, like the episodes you guys have put out. I learned a little bit more about Belair's. By the way, congratulations on the licensing thing. I know there's like there's stuff to be like worked out, but it seems like a pretty freaking awesome
Yeah,
thing.
we'll talk about that here soon. Yeah, we'll jump into that.
The other, honestly, and I'm taking it back again, man. How like I see you as like the turtle guy in the community now, but like, and I think a lot of people do too. But how did you link up with freaking everyone on it? Like, how did you link up with all of these turtle creators, like the big freaking creators? And how do you just talk to them just so casually? So like, where did you meet them? And I guess how do you like keep those relationships going? Because
So
that is so freaking cool.
this is something I've never really talked about with a lot of people. This is for me minutely embarrassing. Um, so I've known
Camp
Tom
in
for a
front of their
couple.
house, right?
Well,
You camp in front of their house. All right.
no, no, no. So Tom does his shoes. He does bull airs and he does some clothing and stuff, and cool, fun, whatever. So what ended up happening was Tom got involved. I don't know if I can't remember how it happened. Either he reached out to him or he saw Steve Levine. If you're not familiar with Steve Levine, who are people that are listening, Steve Levine is amazing friend. Like he grew up with Kevin Eastman. He's one of Kevin's best friends. He is the reason Michelangelo exists because Michelangelo is Steve Levine. Like that's the personality. Steve did the cover of the Ninja Turtles 2 arcade game for the NES. He just done tons of artwork for stuff. We just actually did a bundle with the original artwork from Steve as well. So what happened was Steve ended up getting a pair of Mikey Bolairs from Tom. And he's just a very nice guy. He's just a friendly guy. So they just kept talking. They stayed in touch. And now and I got brought in because I am the Turtles guy. Like I do the community stuff. I like to promote. I'm a big mouth, so I like to talk about stuff. I like to just kind of. I'm a very shy person. If you wouldn't understand, like you wouldn't know. Like I'm the guy that stands in the back of groups and just doesn't say shit. I'm a very shy person.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
But I can talk when people are like around, right? So Tom just kind of brought me in and it's like, hey, let's kind of do stuff because it's easy and fun for him and for me. And Steve ended up inviting us to the Granite State Comic Con, which was like the Turtles Comic Con, right? And we hung out with Steve the whole time we were there, and him and his wife. They're absolutely amazing. And he's like, let's go introduce you to Kevin and Courtney. So now so we went over and we gave Kevin some shoes, the party wagons, which he now wears, which is awesome. And we gave him some Last Ronin shoes, which I don't think fit him. They were just for display. They were just like, hey, here's a pair of Last Ronins. Appreciate it. We gave him some shorts and some shit. I don't know. It's actually probably still sitting at Tom's shop right now, but I have a Michelangelo shirt that you might have seen. It's got Michelangelo. It says, don't be a piece of shit. And that's going to Steve. That might still be sitting at Tom's shop, but yeah, so we just kind of like buddied up with Kevin there, and Kevin stays in touch. And like Ben, I met Ben at that convention, and I don't know if he remembers like me specifically, but we always talk in the party wagon. He's in the party wagon. Ben Bishop does the artwork. He's the one that killed the turtles in the Last Ronin. There's your spoiler. He's the artist for all that stuff. So I just kind of stay connected with him. We met Jim Lawson, Eric Talbot, Aaron Hazori, which is awesome. He is a good friend of mine. He does the artwork for NECA now. Does a lot of the box art. But the way that like I've kind of became friends with these people or acquaintances or contacts was really through Tom, because Tom has that brand, and Tom's a very giving person. So like you gift people stuff, that person's gonna promote you in a sense. Like if you see him wearing it. And that's kind of like how that happened. And the reason that, and the weird part, this is gonna be polarizing, is that whenever it's so hard because people are gonna judge me so bad with this shit, right?
Let me clean my judgy glasses. Just a minute.
So I'm like in the community, I'm very accepting of everything, regardless if I like it or not. Like it's like, it's hard to explain. I'm really trying to like dance around this, right? So like, there are some weird people in the community. They're just weirdos that are like, I don't know, the dudes that go to conventions and dress up as like female anime characters and stuff. And it's just kind of like awkward to like be around. and it's very weird to me. And like that's very it's who I am. I accept them, let them have fun, enjoy it. Like you're enjoying yourself, that's great. So like, but at the same time, it's like I don't want how I see that person, regardless of being accepting, how it makes me feel. I don't want these people to feel that way when I approach them. So when I talk to all these people, when I introduce myself or I get connected, I'm like I respect their boundaries, and I respect the conversation that we have with Trevor Zammit with NECA. I told him like I don't. I'm gonna try to keep like work out of it because we just kind of talk. We shoot the shit. I don't want to bring up like, hey, what's coming up next? What's the next drop? It's like I don't do that. Like that's none of my business. And
That's almost like taking advantage of the relationship you have with them, and it doesn't come off well, not come off, but it won't be sincere. You know what I mean?
right,
Like you're only in it for to get inside scoops or whatnot. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
right. Like I got connected with Randy Falk of NECA, director of development, because somebody thought it was a great idea to blast to pretty much dox him, put all his information up on the internet, and then he was getting phone calls about the loot crate situation. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah,
No.
he was getting threats, he was getting voicemails, his phone was blowing up. People were giving his address out, and I took it upon myself to end all of that, and I took care of it. But and then that's how I got introduced to Randy. Was like Randy has a Facebook, so I DM'd him. I said, "Hey man, like this is what's going on. I'm gonna do whatever I can for you." And then I hit up Trevor and I said, "Trevor, please message Randy. Say that he's got a DM from somebody he doesn't know, and let him know that this is what's going on, and I'm gonna try to take care of it the best I can." And I did. Like the dude got his fucking Facebook deleted. But
Oh.
yeah. And then now I just talk with Randy. Tom and I met Randy over the summer at a convention at PowerCon, and Blaine, and we gave him like gift bags of just like fun stuff that Tom has made, the sliders and stuff like that. And Tom just made him gargoyle shoes. Randy has a pair of like gargoyle shoes, which are awesome. And we're trying to work on something with that. But that's just kind of like how it happened. It's like Tom is like my catalyst. I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm just riding your fucking tailwinds here, man. Like I'm just like here for the ride, just meeting all these cool people. But like he told me like he wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for me, like bringing all the community together and seeing his stuff and kind of bringing that stuff in. So like that's the long-winded story of like how it happens, and you just kind of got to be cool with them. Like I was you before the call, I showed you like I pulled my phone up. I was like, "There's Randy." I sent Randy a box of toys yesterday that I just didn't want. Like, I'm not sending him NECA shit, but he collects Black Series and like GI Joe and shit, and I just don't have room on my walls or my shelves. So, I'm like, hey man, you want these? Like, I know you'll appreciate them. So
Tom is your gateway drug to everything else turtles.
yeah, I mean, pretty much that is.
That's what it looks like.
That's how it is. I'm making sure this ain't the wife hit me up. All right, cool. There's actually somebody about a pair of shoes. So yeah, shoe wise, do you mind if I talk? What mind if I talk? It was my goddamn podcast.
Yeah.
So,
look at that! Wow, Gary, I didn't think I took command of the podcast.
I feel like I'm getting interviewed here. It's like with me with high anxiety, Brandon. It's like I feel like I'm just talking here as a guest with Brandon right now. That's a compliment, by the way, because Brandon and I are super tight. So we brought it up on the last call. What was that?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, sneakers.
Yeah, so we brought it up on the last podcast, and there's been some fun things, right? And I did a live. You're not in the party wagon. This will be new news to you, but if we didn't cover it in the last episode, I want to make sure we talk about this because this is about you, this episode. But I got to make sure this is brought up because this is like today's situation. If you didn't know, we Tom got hit with a cease and desist on Bull Airs. So Viacom hit him up, was like, "Yo, like stop making turtle shit." Cool, we get it. We've been trying to get Viacom to license this shit for over a year. They want nothing to do with us. And then this happened. So then, thankfully, we called in the big guns. Called in Steve. We called in Kevin. We called in his wife Courtney. Everything, right? So we got a message from them from Viacom, and I believe stuff has to be taken down tomorrow. So I think it's tonight, 11:59. So I'm gonna post this episode today, which we're recording on as a Sunday, and not post it on Monday so people can get in if you're listening. To get your turtle stuff. The site's not going down, just turtle stuff's getting removed. So the party wagons are a last time drop. Not happening again, because once we get our license with Viacom, you can't put a turtle swoosh on those bastards. So like it's done. So if you want, I know they're expensive, but if you want a pair of those, you'll have to get them then. So we're working on something like that. Now, a lot of people were speculating in the community, and this is going to be the new news to you. And I'm going to ask you, why do you think Tom got a cease and desist for this stuff? He got hit with 2 strikes, 2 different things. Why do you think he got hit? I'm going to ask you.
Jeez.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Honestly, well, number one, it's got to be Turtles using that license in that way, but
it's
I don't know.
All right, so I brought this up because you're not in the party wagon, as I mentioned multiple times. I did a live because Tom sent out an email, and then people were like, their brains were going all over, like their minds were going crazy, like saying different things, and I knew what actually happened, and it's so funny, right? So what happened was, if you see this is just kind of my little, I always just kind of have this up hanging. See how it says the party wagon? You see how this is right here, this red thing, whatever you call that. In the little Turtles logo, it says Teenage Mutant Ninja. In his Bull Airs Turtles logo, which is actually fair use because it's creative freedom in that situation, they hit him with this red thing. Whatever this red thing is called, he can't have that in his logo.
Call that like a border, a backdrop,
something, right? And Tom is an artist. He knows how this stuff works, and he shouldn't have. And he's actually he kind of came back, and I was like, hey, listen, look, I get it, but mine doesn't have this, black border and this white outliner, right? It's like if I got hit with this, right? Obviously, I'm using the Turtles font, but I'm not making money on this. It's just something for fun. It's fan made. So they hit him with that. That was number one. Number two was the fact that he was using toys in some of his promotional photos, like Playmates figures or Mondo figures. My Mondo figures, which are right there. He's not allowed to use them because that is their intellectual property. Just putting a toy in a promo ad. He didn't get hit for the designs. He didn't get hit for the logos. None of that shit. He got hit for that fucking red bar and putting toys in his promotional ads. That's what he got hit with. And what I think and if I was to speculate, part of the latest drop with the Playmates colorways was the fact that he included little tiny mini turtles in his thing. I'm not going to say the name of the person that made them for current reasons because he's had an issue with Viacom in the past. I don't want to make that an issue for him because he's awesome. But I think they might have hit him with that. But yeah, those are the 2 reasons he got hit, man. And it's ridiculous. He didn't get hit for any of the designs or putting the eyeballs on anything or any of that
more
stuff.
Obvious things. Yeah, the more obvious things.
Yeah, I'll spill the beans on this one. So him and I have talked about this. So this is up for order right now. This is like the polo with the foot logo, but he has his little patch on the bottom, and this is what we're trying to make sure we can get, right? So you can see on the patch on the bottom, it's got the actual Turtles logo on it. And we want to make sure that we can do this. Now, the good news is Viacom knows Tom's work. Viacom, in an email, was like, yo, we like your stuff. Like the guy that hit him up. Like, we know of your brand. We like your stuff. So we're expecting to have a ballpark. Just knock it out of the park with that, man. Now, the good news that is kind of some fun information is that there's a company out there that we're probably going to be working with that is big, that already has the licensing, that might be able to allow us they will host the products through their site, so it falls under the Viacom licensing, and everything's good. So that's kind of some fun small details that we literally, this is a blessing in disguise, as I keep telling them. We've been trying to do this for over a year. They finally hit us, and then everybody, including Kevin, is like, yo, let's help Tom out. so that's the story of Bull Airs. So bullairs.com, you got to order the turtle stuff by midnight tonight, Eastern time, midnight Eastern time. We have to take everything down by the end of the day. So simple as that.
Well, of course it will be back, but how it will look when it's back, that's the question, right?
Right. Yeah, and Tom and I had a fun, long discussion about it last night, and it was it was like the situation is that they don't have good internal designers. If you look at anything that's licensed TMNT, most of the time it's like a clip art slapped on a shirt or the side of like a shitty shoe. It sucks. So this isn't the first time someone has actually wanted to partner with Tom on the product. I'll just say that. But moving forward, you're not going to be able to get like the party wagons with the swooshes. He called me, Jay. You were there before we started recording. He called me. We talked about it. Maybe we'll get rid of that swoosh and put Velcro bandanas or something around that. I don't know. Like, we'll figure it out. But I've got like 5 designs I'm working on for shoes. Please keep your eyes peeled for those once those are ready to go and we can release them. They're all $100 or below. So they're going to be more affordable shoes. They're not going to be 350, 400. So if you want a better pair of shoes, I'm working on it. I'm trying here. Mondo Geckos. I'm doing them. They're Mondo Gecko Van style skate shoes. $99. So they're coming.
Yeah, and that's pretty affordable compared to today's sneaker price. So I'm a pretty big sneakerhead myself. I'm a Jordans guy, and you can't get a pair of Jordans under like 220. You know, maybe some Air Jordan ones but good luck buying them. You're gonna have to go to the secondary market and pay 2-3 times above market value.
They're like toys now, man. Or still, like they're like toys. It's so hard. I'm not a sneaker guy. If you look at my shoes right now, I have skate shoes and like they're like covered. Because I'm in New York. They are covered in salt. They're black shoes that just look like cows because there's so much salt on them, and it's so gross. And then like Tom comes and drops these bastards off, and like, because I'm an Earthworm Jim is like my second love. Boom. So I love Earthworm Jim. Look at these guys.
Wow, look at like let's see those insoles, like the inside of the shoe. Wow, look at that. Wow, can you take that out? Let's look at that.
Oh my lord. I put it in here and now it's like in here.
Mess it up, Gare.
See if we grab the other one. See if that one's easier to do. Oh, this one's got a little pocket on the side that comes off. And that's we had resin printed blasters that are gonna be thrown in there. Oh my god, even these ones, I got still got the little shoe thing in here.
Also, I noticed that back pillow. That looks like something that you have.
Oh, my back pillow? I'll show it to you in a second. There it is.
Oh my god, look at that. Wow, that is incredible.
Shit's quality, man. Like it's really funny. Like some people complain about pricing on things, and I totally get it. But you know, I know how much these cost to like make, and I know what the profit margin is on them, which is an okay amount. But you know, this is his livelihood, and he spends his time designing these. Yeah, this is my pillow.
What's that back pillow?
Want some anxiety? There you go.
That is amazing.
Extra back
on the back, or is it the same? Backside, the backside of it?
Oh, it's the same, dude. It's
okay.
It's just the same image twice. Yeah, right. Get you some fucking anxiety on that shit. Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad thank you for letting me, you know, I know it was about you. It's always, we have amazing friends, so I wanted to make sure it was about you, but Tom did ask if we can do a quick Bull Airs plug and let everyone know what's going on to help out.
Awesome.
Got to get that shit down. So, moving forward, man, what are some photos you want to take? Let's just bring that right back to you. What are some photos that you have in the old noodle there?
So for a long time, I wanted to do like a Turtleverse thing, and that's why I'm kind of doing the Batman the Animated. Again, inspired by the comic, you know, the Batman TMNT crossover. So kind of the blending the animated series with the '87 series. That's kind of what I'm doing now. And then obviously there's still a lot of Turtle stuff that I haven't opened. I haven't touched my Ronin stuff. I still have a lot of Toon figures, like the pre-mutation packs I haven't even touched. So just that, man. Just keep cranking. And again, just I'm waiting on the Turtle van, Gare. What the heck, man? I'm waiting on the Turtle van. That's the biggie.
I have a 3D printed one. that I'm sending to the TMNT collector. That's
Yeah,
pretty
look.
big. Have you seen that one? I posted that's like a year old now. If you look at it, like if you look back a year in my photos, you'll see it on there. It's scaled to fit the Super 7 figures.
Wow.
Is big. It's this big. Well, that tall. Yeah, it's just. I want to say it's like half an inch smaller than the actual Super 7 dimensions that they announced.
Yeah,
So
when isn't that dropping like anytime soon now?
that
Is
is
it set one?
dropping later on this year. I just got an email about it. I don't know, a day ago maybe, where they were where they actually gave us a date on when they were going to be dropping that. Um,
In terms
who?
of scale, how did that differentiate from the one that the scale that NECA's model was?
It's bigger. It's I don't know the exact size. I can't give you exact specifications, but it's bigger. It's much larger. Because these figures, I have the green guys sitting here, the glow in the darks, sitting right here. Um, and this is the only turtle I got on my desk right now. But like they're close to the same size when you see them, to scale. The NECA ones are definitely a little bit bigger. Sorry, the Super Sevens are a little bit bigger in general. But they've designed it to where all the figures, these ones will be fitting comfortably in there. Like they have space to move around, where the NECA one is more accurate to the show, and they have a specific size constraint they're dealing with there. So the NECA one's definitely more punched in, where the Super 7 one is much longer. But they over-engineered the shit out of the Super 7 one, so that's why it's so expensive. There's like layers of plastic in there. They don't want screws to show, is what they said. So it's a
And I
lot of
was
extra plastic.
thinking the reason that it was more expensive probably was because of the size, right?
Yeah. No, the
Then
reason
you
the,
said
the reason is it's over-engineered, 100%. Yeah.
actually now when you picked up that Mikey figure, I just thought of a NECA critique. Okay, because I think we're all in agreement that the NECA turtles are essentially perfect, right? The Toon line. I do have one small critique. I need I need the nunchuck holders in the back of Mikey's shell. That's it.
Right.
Because
Yeah. All mine
because
just
in
hang
the
over the
animated
yeah, mine
series,
hang over the side.
the animated series, there are plenty of scenes where they're just like in the back of the shell, I believe.
Yeah. I'll show you how I have mine. Oh, this is straight up how mine are. Like this is mine just kind of hang. See what I mean? I use the I use the tiny tantrum head on my figure.
It's a
Um,
great head, man.
so yeah, I just hang mine off the side. What I used to do is I used to take them and I used to stick them both on this. I'm literally looking at the wrong side. I would stick them both on it like together like this, and I would do that. But I snapped the holder a couple of times that hold that ring, and I had to get new nunchucks. So I don't do that anymore. I just kind of dangle them off to the side. But I agree. I know it's not accurate, but maybe they can figure something out in the future on that because that'd be sick.
Like, because essentially, just recreate kind of what Don's got going in the back. And I don't know if four will be too big back there, but it will be like a nice easy way to display those nunchucks in the back there.
Yeah,
To
just kind
hold.
of like kind of like the Mikeys have.
Yeah, exactly,
He's only got three,
exactly,
but yeah.
exactly. You got it.
Hell yeah.
I just thought of something else, but I forgot. See, the old age is catching up to me, man.
Us old
A
men.
little older. I'll be 39 in April.
You don't
So,
look it, so that's good.
oh yeah, yeah, I know. It's the H2O.
I feel like because I'm always playing with this part of my beard that people that see me might think, oh man, look at the grays on this dude's face. I have no grays. Like it's just
I
blonde.
actually got some, especially if I let like the hair grow out. My barber's like, hey man, if you have the shorter hair, the grays aren't going to show as loud. So I said, okay, fine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I get some every once in a while. The old top of the noggin. They kind of stick out, but nope, I ain't got shit, man. I am lucky And that's because I'm just
Yes.
super easygoing. I don't like to stress about things. I got no kids.
Not not to mention just
Nothing.
the fact that we have hair at our age, because a lot
Yeah.
of our peers, it's gone.
Yeah. My dad, like I said, my dad's a hippie. He's got long hair. So I'm thankful to have those genes to where I can have long hair as well. This is going to the grave with me, baby. I'm not cutting this shit off. I don't look good with short hair, but hell yeah.
You're
Well,
just not used to seeing yourself with short hair. That's what it is.
oh
It's
dude,
the same thing like if you don't wear hats, right? And then you put on a hat, you're like, man, I look weird. But then you just kind of get used to it, and it's like, hey, this is just how I look in a hat.
you,
And
you
that's
can't
probably why.
you can't wear hats with long hair though. The second you put a hat on, you look like you're a NASCAR fan. Like
Yes.
you can't do it. I've tried. I wear beanies. I used to wear beanies until I got scared that it was going to start making me like to make my hair thin. That was always the on running joke with me because like I've got the
Yep.
I got that, but yeah, I just always used to wear beanies. And we always joke that I'm Randy Falk's twin, or we're the same person. And he's always got a fucking bandana. He usually wears a bandana across like his head,
All
right?
right. Yeah.
Because he's got the receding hairline a little bit. Because he's older than us, but he's got the receding hairline where I just keep my hair down to the sides, and it looks fine. But I think that's as far as mine's gonna go. That's where my dad's is, and that's kind of if I ever look at my old photos, I think that's where my hairline has always been.
You're good, bro. And I think we're past the point that I think we can feel secure that we'll keep the hair. Because I think if we were to lose it, I think it will probably like leave by now.
Right. So really, really weird. We'll end this episode here soon, but this is a fun, weird, hot take, right? This is the funniest shit. This has nothing to do with turtles. We're talking about hair. This is the hair podcast. So people always start balding in the back of their head, like right here. That's the bald spot. I was talking like I'm a researcher. I'm like a knowledge nerd, and this is something I just always think about, and I never sit down and think and like research it. I was talking to April about this the other day. So if you look back in like ancient times, you remember you remember look at they got coffee. Um,
Go, real quick. Come here, real quick. Quick. My niece Lila. Say hi. Just a wave.
Hello, niece.
Thanks.
I so
Cameo appearance.
was it back in the I
Yeah,
have that
go for it.
I have that up I have that back there somewhere.
Hey man, we need more than 4 issues. I look. I don't know what Gary. I know you're the man. Okay, so I'm putting you on the spot. Whatever you need to do. I don't know if you need to contact people at IDW. I don't know if you need to contact people at freaking Nickelodeon. We need more than 4 issues, Gary.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
See what I can
one sec. I just want to close this door real quick, and then you're back up.
You're good. Well, while you're walking away, I'll just start talking if you can still hear me.
Yeah,
So we don't have any dead air here. So talking about hair and like the bald spot, right? Now, one of the things that I was thinking about, this is so far fetched, right? Back in like we'll say medieval times, back in the day, where a lot of like the Anglo-Saxons and stuff like that over in Europe, they still do to this day. I mean, Jewish religion still wears their yarmulkes, but they always had that circle hat, and that was so that God can see His children from the heavens, and they always had that little thing up there. And my theory was always been like a lot of people, that now that start getting that bald spot specifically right there is like a genetic thing because back then their ancestors must have been super religious and always wore that thing, so it just kind of like wore their head down back there. So it's like, oh, genetically your body is like, we don't need hair there, we've got something covering it. You know what I mean? So that's always been like my weird thing.
It's the reverse yarmulke.
Right.
Yeah. That's what's happening.
Yeah, so like that's always been my thing. Like people that are balding back there had very religious ancestors that wore that little hat. That's always been like my weird thing. I've talked to April about it. She thinks I'm fucking crazy. But you heard it here. If it's not already been reported, if it's not like an actual real thing, when they find that out in like 10 years, right here, origin.
I'll say where I heard it from. Okay, I'm giving you all the credit. One thing that I don't know why the heck I haven't asked you, but I keep like staring at it. That box, if you lift up your left arm, Just point. Yep. What the hell is that?
So that's stuck to my wall, so I can't take it off. That is the Comic Con, New York Comic Con 2017. This was the this is the Foot Soldiers with Shredder Mirage Foot Soldiers and Shredder 4-pack. It's got 3 different Foot Soldiers and Shredder in it, the red one, which is the same sculpt as the blue one that we got in Loot Crate a couple years ago.
That is a great segue, my friend. Actually, right here, great segue. I've checked my Target tracking, and it says that I'm getting the Battle Damage Shredder this Monday.
Well,
can it be?
How are you getting it from Target?
Sorry, Walmart. My bad. Walmart. Looking at it right now. Yeah, it says arrives by Tuesday, February 7th. So I follow a lot of people on Twitter, and everyone says like a lot of their orders got canceled. So either I'm going to be let down, or this thing actually is coming. What about you? Did you manage to snag one?
I did snag one. Mine is at delayed. Check back for updates. Mine's supposed to be here today.
Shit.
Yep. So mine's supposed to be here today. I'm looking at it right now on my phone. Look how bright that shit is. Holy crap.
What the hell, bro?
So
arrives by Tuesday, February 7th, and it just says placed. There is no prepare. There is no on the way. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. This honestly takes me back to the PS5 days for that pre-order, because I was one of the first pre-orders, and you don't get any sort of shipping notification, and then the thing just like appeared at my house one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with these. Hopefully it's not another Farm 2-pack, which is where we all pre-order them and then 5 months later they cancel them. But, yeah, I've seen people get them canceled.
You know what? I'm going to ask you, now that I brought up video games. I know we had Shredder's Revenge last year, which was so fucking cool. But there was like a report or two that I saw that there was a AAA Turtles game in the making, and it might be Mutant Mayhem related. I don't know, but I was wondering if you knew anything about any games coming out.
Yeah, I there is one being made. I've seen nothing on it. People are assuming it's going to be for Mutant Mayhem as a tie-in, but they are saying AAA. And if I was to be a betting man, a movie-based video game is not AAA. I wouldn't say that. That's usually like a AA. It's an actual real term, AA. I wouldn't count on it being Mutant Mayhem, but
what the hell can this be then?
Man, I have no idea. But if it's, I'm scared. I'm scared of what it's gonna be. Because last time we did a movie tie-in game was the TMNT game, wasn't it? For a console, not a handhelds. I think the fucking Michael Bay ones had handhelds, but
for the animated movie.
Yeah, it was the 2007 movie, which was okay. It was an easy gamer score of 1,000. Remember that shit? But I don't know.
Oh yeah. Didn't you say you were just grinding just for the gamer score in that game? You didn't really enjoy it.
I enjoyed that game, and I got the 1,000. And it's an easy 1,000 because you just have to beat the game to get it. I actually enjoyed that game, but going back to it, I don't think I would. I might have been like lying to myself back then. Like, you're gonna love this because you love Turtles, and just play it. But Shredder's Revenge obviously is awesome. I'm hoping they do more of that. I know that they've had a great success with that. It's one of the highest downloaded games on Game Pass, which is huge. And now it's on Netflix. If you have the Netflix app, you can get on your phone. You can download.
I bought that thing. I think I bought a physical copy, then I bought a digital copy for the PS5, and then I also bought a digital copy for the Switch. So I supported them 3 times.
Yeah, I got it through Game Pass. I got it through Game Pass on Xbox, and I bought it on Switch to play with my friend, and then he sold the Switch.
Hey, but you know what? You supported Turtle stuff.
Yeah. Yep, and I play it on my phone, so it's fun.
Yeah, so I'm really curious what the hell that is.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like that weird Ubisoft Out of the Shadows game they did. Back on.
Oh my god, that was terrible. Oh my god, that was terrible. I
was saying Polarizing. There's that other one that Platinum Games did. That was Mutants of Manhattan, and it's awful. Jason Bob in the Party Wagon. You don't know him, but he's one of our admins. He loves that game. He swears by that. That game is so bad. That game is so shitty. But it's like it's the only reason it's expensive is because there's barely any copies released. So like trying to sell, it's kind of a rarer title, so it goes up there in price. But that game sucks. That game's so fucking bad.
So I think Platinum Games also made a Transformers G1 version. Yeah,
and that
know
also
exactly
sucked.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm looking. So my homework for now. So I'm gonna check out Bull Airs. I promise. I will. And I will hop on. I will reluctantly create a Facebook account just for Party Wagon, and that's it. Will not reactivate it because I deactivated it back in like 2012 or something.
Yeah.
You know what? When I saw parents on Facebook, and then when they changed the newsfeed to be, the algorithm one, I hated it. When it was like, oh, Gary liked
Yeah.
Joe's post about Chipotle. I'm like, I don't care what Gary liked.
I think they stopped that, by the way. 'Cause I know what you're talking about because there was a period where I was liking a bunch of bunch of titty pics, and my grandmother was seeing them. That I was liking them, right? It was like random like Facebook models, and I was like, oh, that's a nice pair of boobs, and just hit like, and then it's like shows my grandmother that I like that stuff.
You know what? Your homework. I'm giving you homework as a huge Turtles fan, right? And as someone who's going to, again, Party Wagon, I'm there. I'm in the community now, right? So Saturday morning adventures, we need more than 4 issues, right? No, that's number one. You need to find info on that damn game, that AAA game. I don't know how. So that is your homework. You're the guy.
Well, thankfully, I do have an in that I can probably ping, so we'll figure it out. I just haven't done it yet. I just never even think about it. So,
Cheers.
Hell yeah. Well, let's wrap this up. Hell yeah, this is like our longest episode ever. This is what happens when you meet new people and you just kind of do an Amazing Friends episode where you just kind of shoot the shit and talk about stuff and kind of highlight the community. Jay, dude, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hitting me up on this. I know a lot of you have hit me up in regard to joining the podcast in the future. If you've made it all the way to the end of this, I will do my best to figure it out. And, we'll do more episodes with Jay. We'll do more episodes with some new people as we move along. I don't remember everybody that DM me, so if you're watching this, hit me up again and be like, hey, I DM'd you. The only request I have, I told all the regular guys this too, is make sure your audio is good when we do this. Jay had good audio today. It's awesome. He's got a lot of good stuff in his house that he can do this with. Outside of his fucking camera having the same issue mine does, where it likes to autofocus every 10 seconds. But yeah,
it has. All I can say, if your camera's doing it, my camera's doing it, it clearly has a hard time with handsome men. It's just like,
I agree.
No,
April wouldn't agree with me, but I agree. But she sticks around. But yeah, if you want to join, we'll do more of these. I was going to try to do them bi-weekly. We'll see what we have to do. The next one that I'm filming is going to be with the Mad Hatter. My buddy Near, Mad Hatter Reviews on YouTube. We talk all the time. His in-laws are in town, so once they leave, we're going to do an episode. So we'll do that one next. So thank you, everybody. And Jay, thanks again for joining me, man. This was awesome. Go follow Jay. I'll put his shit down below somewhere.
Follow me. If it's below for Gary, it's probably above or to the side for me. So yeah, follow
I'll
me.
throw it in the description. We'll throw it somewhere.
My friend.
All right. Later, everyone.
Peace.